Hi, I'm Marie Eide, board member of Save the West Closterman Preserve, and I am here at Open Sky Studio and Gallery at 907 East Closterman Road in Tarpon Springs with the artists who are helping us save the West Closterman Preserve through their art, their time, talents, and treasures. Come meet them. Percy Kleinop's here on the left, and
Hello.
Suzanne, hello, and Suzanne Murphy on the right.
Hello.
And they are studio partners and have been for a long time.
Yes, we have.
What is your interest in saving the West Closterman Preserve and in the juxtaposition of art and environment?
Well, one of the things I love about our neighborhood is that I can drive and find water everywhere and green space, trees, natural growth, birds in ponds. I don't want to see that go away. We have an old drawbridge that someday probably someone will change, but I just love the feeling of, and we're all functional here, nothing needs to change. We don't need more of anything except green space.
How about you, Percy? How do you feel?
Well, I'm a bleeding heart. I believe that we need to look around and see all the beauty that there is. And concrete just doesn't do it for me. And I drive by the West Closterman Preserve, and it's beautiful. I've walked by it. And I used to run by it. Now I'm walking. But it's beautiful. What you find varies from season to season. We don't want to destroy something like that and to look at concrete. We want to keep it as it is. And I thank the West Closterman Preserve group for doing this. And I just felt in my heart, we talked about it and we felt we needed to contribute. So this is what we're doing.
And we had both donated already, but this is a larger contribution and commitment. So
Yes, it is.
we hope it works.
And you out there can make it a very large contribution if you come in and look at the art, and maybe something will strike you as being the absolute piece for your home or office. And we also have a program where you can take it home and get in love with it. Because we want to sell you only what you really want and that you will willing to look at every single day.
Yeah.
And by gosh, we think we have something here for
So
you.
you can collect art and save green space at the same time.
Well, we all thank you so much for what you are doing with this offer.
Thank you.
Let's go take a look at this giclée. And what it is called, Disappearing Woman.
Glorified.
Glorified, because it is a giclée of a painting that you have done, Percy.
Yes. And this painting you can bid on the West Closterman Preserve website, and it has that little shiny button that goes back and forth, and you push it and go and put your bid in. I am really proud of this piece, and I really think that there is an opportunity for you to see it maybe in your home. If you don't see it, don't bid on it. Just donate to the West Closterman Preserve. Otherwise, come in and visit it. You can touch it, you can take pictures of it, and if you really get the high bid, then it's yours.
Kind of exciting.
It certainly is exciting. Let's just talk a little bit about your influences. I'll start with you, Suzanne. You have been a costume designer in New York, is that correct?
A graphic artist. I worked in the film industry for several years when I was in New York, but I also took classes at the Art Students League just to continue my education. But I didn't start to paint on canvas until I moved to Colorado, and my husband and I built a straw bale house, 2,500 square foot straw bale house on a mountain. And I had this big studio of straw, and the scenery, we had elk and an extinct volcano south of us in New Mexico, looked like a blue moon rising, and there were pinon trees everywhere, and how could I not paint? So in 1996, I put my first stroke to canvas, and I did 5 paintings in 5 days. I couldn't believe it. Where did it come from? So my influences all through my entire life were Edgar Degas, who you quoted at the beginning of a previous interview. John Singer Sargent. I'm tied to representation. Sometimes I get a little looser, like the painting down at the end called Journey. It's 4 by 5, 4 feet by 5 feet. And that is probably the loosest landscape I've ever done. And the meaning of the painting came from a poem that Percy wrote called Journey the year before. And it's that path that we travel. The shadows, the sunlight, and then at the end, the path turns and you don't know what's there, but you know it will be good. My mother was a poet, and I grew up with classical music. I love words, and words inspire me to paint sometimes, as Percy's poem did. And I'm not like a lot of artists that paint a theme, and they paint landscapes or still lifes, or I do a lot of figurative work and portraits of children and sometimes adults. But my work is so varied because of my thoughts and my feelings and what I'm exposed to in my life. It really is truly a reflection of what I am.
That's beautiful. And so, firstly, we'll turn to you now. You have a book of poetry and illustrations in addition to all the art you create. What are your influences? You have many.
Well, I started art late in life, and it happened in a very unusual way. I was on a conference call, and I was droodling at this conference call. It was really boring, and I created a face. My wife had just walked in after the conference call was over, and she couldn't believe that I had drawn this face. She encouraged me to go further. I did. I ended up taking lessons from Suzanne, who's an absolutely fantastic teacher, and lo and behold, something grabbed a hold of me one day, and I sat down and I wrote my first poem, and it was called Journey. I realized that I had gotten in touch with a part of me that I did not even know existed, and it became a passion, and I cannot stop. But I worry about the messaging that we as a society have. I worry about every individual. I care about people, as you would see if you read my poem or poems. And so I decided that a strong visual of an injustice, or a strong visual of an issue, societal issue, a human issue, would do a lot to focus people that this is in fact important in our lives. But I also like to do things spontaneously. So you might find a painting of mine here that's spontaneous. I'm doing bubbles now. And bubbles are really important because the earth would not exist if we did not have bubbles. Now, look it up. Bubbles created the atmosphere that created life on earth, and how they did it is a really interesting story. You can go on our websites, by the way, there are our names, and percykleinups.com, and you will see the stories behind the paintings, and also sometimes the poem that goes along with the paintings. So,
I'll just interject
Yes.
that Percy does an immense amount of research before he does any of his paintings, and he continues throughout the painting process to learn about what he's painting and find new symbolism, and it's amazing to me as a representational artist. And when he was taking lessons, I never expected any of my students to paint like me. And he automatically just moved to this symbolic, bold work, bold colors. He doesn't mute anything. He mixes good colors, but he doesn't mute. And I've never heard you speak of your influences.
Well, the influences comes from my heart.
Yeah, I think so. He's never copied
I
anyone.
care.
Said, oh, I want to do
It's
that.
simple as that. I care, and I collect my own art. Where I live is full of my art, and I look at it every day, and it puts a smile on my face. It's something that we feel everyone should have a real piece of art that touches you. And if it doesn't touch you, don't put it in your house. Every piece that we have has a place with somebody. And there's a sales part to us, because this is how we keep the studio open, and this is how we can contribute to the West Klosterman Preserve. 25% of anything that you buy here, from cards to original paintings, goes to the West Klosterman Preserve.
And one other thing that you don't know until you do it. We had 2 women in here at our opening on, was it December 10?
Yes.
And they bought 3 pieces. They were small, but they loved each one. And they said before they left that they had never had the experience of buying art from an artist that they knew, and that it made a difference. And they knew that they could come back anytime and talk to us about, they were very interested on how things were created. It's so different from buying art online or going into a gallery where the artist isn't there unless you're there at the opening. It has been a wonderful experience for our collectors, and you could have that experience with us.
Yes.
We'd love to meet you.